Hello, this is solving formulas. Let's do example 1. This is going to be A equals B times H. And they want us to solve for B. Okay? Remember, this is an area formula. Okay, when they give you the variable that they want you to solve for, that means that you are going to leave that variable by itself. In this case, the B is not by itself, it has an H right next to it. But it's always super easy. When you have two variables together, that means this is a multiplication, so we do the opposite. The opposite of multiplication, division. So you divide by H on both sides. And of course, what happens when you divide by the same number or by the same variable is that variable cancels out. So now on this side you have B equals A over H. Once the variable is by itself, you're done. Okay? Let's do example number 2. This is going to be P equals AB over C. And they want us to solve for C. Now, what do we do here? The C is in the bottom and you have a P on the other side. Let me give you a really cool trick. If you have the letter on the bottom or a number, whatever it is, you can always just flip it. Okay? Just flip the C and the P is going to be on the bottom. Okay? So you just write C equals AB over P. And that's your answer. Okay? Solving for C, when C is on the bottom, just flip it over. So the C comes here and the P goes back and takes the place that C had. Okay? If you don't understand why, let me show you here. If you have 10 divided by 5, this equals to 2, right? Like I show you in one of my videos, if you multiply 5 times 2, you get 10. Now, if you have 10 divided by 2, this equals to 5. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you have a 5 here or here. But when you multiply the bottom times the other side, you get the top. Okay? So 5 times 2 is the same thing as 2 times 5. That's why you can flip it around and it doesn't affect anything. Okay? That's why in this case we can move the P and the C and it doesn't affect anything, and you solve the problem that they want you to solve. That in this case they wanted to leave C by itself. Okay? Okay, let me do a little bit. This is a little bit more complicated. This is going to be example 3. I have A squared equals B squared plus 2xc. And they want us to solve for x. Okay? Again, when they tell you solve for x, means leave the x by itself. So that means that the b squared, the 2, and the c, we need to move them to the other side. The first thing, notice that the 2 and the c, they're right next to the x. So you're going to move the one that is farther away from the letter. In this case, it's b squared. So how do we move it? This b squared is positive, so make it minus b squared on both sides. Okay? The b cancels out. Now on this side you have a squared minus b squared equals. What do you have here? You don't need to put the plus anymore because this is the only term you have. So 2xc. Okay? Now, how do I leave the x by itself? Well, this is a multiplication. If I want to get rid of the 2, I just put a line and just put a 2 under. Okay? But this is also a multiplication, so I can do it together at the same time. Why? Because when I divide by 2, I'm going to cancel the 2. And when I divide by c, I'm going to cancel the c. So if I divide by 2c, and remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to do it on the other. So 2c. Okay? Notice that I have the line is covering the a square and the b square. Okay? So on this side, the 2 and the 2 cancel out, the c and the c cancel out. So now you have x equals. There's nothing you can do here, so you just write it down. A squared minus b squared over 2c. Once your variable is by itself, you're done. Okay? And that's it.